my name is Claudia Erber, the CEO and host of the Eyes on Ocean videocast. I invite you to embark and tune in to marine mammals observer stories about whales and dolphins and get inspired to love and protect the sea. Welcome to the Eyes on Ocean videocast, where we share the voices of women making waves in marine conservation. Today we are joined by Olga Mosca, a passionate marine biologist with a truly global background. I'm so excited. We met at the European Cetacean Society Conference in the Azores last month. And in this episode, Olga shares her marine biologist journey and the joys and challenges of life at sea. This conversation is a deep dive into science, dedication, and heart behind marine research. Welcome, Olga, and thank you to be here today.
Hello, Claudia. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It's a very, very pleasure to have you here to inspire other women to work offshore. And your experience, it's when I was reading everything you have done, I was, wow, what a woman. So let's start with your introduction, where you are, where you are from, and what you are doing at the moment.
All right, sounds good. My pleasure of mine to be here, to be fair. It was really lovely to meet you. And again, thanks for asking me. My name is Olga Mosca. And I'm Italian, but I was born in Singapore and I've lived in a lot of different places. So I feel like I'm a bit from all over the place. But right now, I'm actually in the same place as you. I'm in the Algarve, so I'm near Faro in Portugal.
And tell me about why you choose to become a marine biologist, a cetacean expert, how your career has changed and grown over time.
It's a good question. Actually, so my passion from the ocean started really early. I feel like when I was a kid, I was really lucky to travel quite a bit with my family, and I was always drawn to the sea, and especially dolphins. You know that when kids dream that they want to work with dolphins, and they say that's what I want to do when I grow up. Well, I feel like that was me, and I am very lucky that I was actually able to follow that dream so far, and I'm really doing that. So how I got here, I guess, is by studying marine biology. I after so even within high school, I chose more sciencey topics. I studied in Canada, and then I went to the University of Victoria in British Columbia, Canada, so in Western Canada, and I studied again marine biology. Then I got some hands-on experience with some internships. I went to Greece first in archipelagos. Then I went back to British Columbia. And I went to a really kind of remote place called Haida Gwaii. It's almost like it's on the coast and it's near Alaska, so on the coastline between Canada and Alaska. And I had the chance to work with both Canadian government and the Haida government, so the local First Nation government. And I also spent time in Prince Rupert, which is again on the mainland, but on the border with Alaska. And there I worked with the OceanWise team, so the team that worked with the Vancouver Aquarium, studying marine mammals, doing both public outreach and data collection. And it was really awesome. But most of my experience, obviously, which is how we met, is coming from working at the Bottlenose Dolphin Research Institute, just called the BDRI. It's easier, in Galicia, northwest Spain. So I started there in 2018 as an intern coordinator. Originally, it was just going to be for one season, and then I ended up staying there for a longer time, 6 years, and I became part of the research staff. yeah, during that time, I decided to continue my academic journey. So I had done my undergrad, but during that time, I decided to continue my education, and I did a master's degree, an Erasmus Plus master's in marine environment and resources, which took me to different universities. So it's three universities: Southampton, Bilbao, and Liège. So the
What
UK,
amazing
Spain,
experience. Wow.
yeah, and Belgium. The Belgium part, I didn't actually physically go there because, of course, it caught me in the middle of COVID. But it was still
Mm.
really great to be able to travel and meet people from all over the world as well.
Mhm.
Then I did my thesis at the BDRI, and then I continued my research there into a PhD, which I'm in the final stages of writing. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
But during your master, you were already doing bioacoustics or other topics?
Yeah, so that's where it started. I started doing bioacoustics during my master's thesis, and then I kind of progressed and went on in my research from there.
And why bioacoustics?
Well, at the beginning, I hadn't really had much experience, and then it was
Mm.
one of those things where Bruno and I got to talking and be like, "Okay, now you have some experience in all the different research projects that we have. Like, but why don't you try bioacoustics?" And then I tried it, and I really liked it, and I ended up like organizing a lot of the acoustic files, and started kind of getting a passion
Mm.
for it. And then we were like, "Well, why not continue and keep going with this?"
Cool. And during the master, you will also study bottlenose dolphins, or you study also other species?
Yeah, so I mean, at the institute, there are like acoustic recordings about different species, but the main one that is studied is bottlenose dolphins, acoustics wise. Then there are many other projects with other cetacean species, but for acoustics, I think the majority of the recording of the data is on bottlenose dolphins, and then maybe in the future, if we collect enough acoustic recording of other species, hopefully there will be enough for a project on different species.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great. So tell us about a story about your work, how you really do your research, and how is the projects there in this research center, and how you feel you are really protecting the animals. What kind of methodology, equipment you use?
Sure. So, well, my work at the BDRI covers a lot of different things, which is one of the main reasons why I loved it so much. I don't know if any of you all know already, but the BDRI is not only a marine research center, but it's also an education center. So it's a place where students come to learn how marine biology research is done. And so a big part of my everyday work is teaching and training students or interns who come to learn. So this can be students at university, but it's really people from all ages, backgrounds, careers, and they come to learn from us at the BDRI. And I really appreciate the fact that there's people from all over the world, and it's great to meet so many. I think there's like almost like 100 per year or something. So there's depends. It can be like a lot of people, and it always switches it up, which is great. So in part of the training, I think, except like in addition to like the actual details of training, um, one of the important things that I really like to share is the passion for what we do. So the passion that we have for this field and for the animals that we study. So obviously, there's a lot of things to learn too. On one side, there's the field research where students learn to collect data in the field, both like on land, so from the coast, and aboard research vessels. So we have land-based and boat-based. And
Wow,
so our
that's a great
students,
opportunity. The animals
yeah,
come very close to the coast.
yeah. So we're lucky enough
Mm.
in Galicia that the dolphins live in the rias, and we can
Mm.
just go. Well, we have a specific land-based locations, but you can just go anywhere on the coast. And if you look for enough time, then most of the time we see dolphins. We have a really high percentage of sightings in the times we go. you have to look and be careful and have our binoculars, but sometimes they're just right there in front of you, like few meters
And
away.
in this land-based, you use only binoculars, or you have telescope and theodolite, other kind of equipments?
Yeah, so we use binoculars, and we also have a scope, so kind of like for birding as well, like the ones that like have a bigger zoom when we can follow the animals that are a bit farther away. But we scan
Mm-hmm.
with all different equipment, so both with eyes, binoculars, and well, with the scope we don't like really scan. We more like kind of focus when we have a group of animals. But yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
definitely search both with our naked eye and with the binoculars to have like different fields of view, different perspectives, and we try to cover the whole area. And there's different people with different roles, and so everything is like coordinated and really organized. And we collect surveys, which what we call surveys, which are kind of point surveys. So every 20 minutes, we collect environmental data,
Mm-hmm.
and then we teach the students how to recognize and count different species of marine birds, identify the different types of local boats, since we include them in our data collection, because they could affect the behavior of the animals. So we need to differentiate the
Mm-hmm.
type of boats based on what they do. And then obviously there's the behavioral data collection when we do see the animals, which again is most of the times we go out and follow the group of dolphins, try to understand the behavior based on what we see at the surface, obviously. And the student learns how to spot the animals, count them, try to differentiate the size, so like adults and calves, the age, and we collect a lot of other data as well with the animals. So it can be like the effect of the boats on the animals, or acoustic data, the diving duration. Like, so we have lots of different types of data that we do collect. So it's lots to teach, lots to learn, always lots to do. And we also collect behavior videos and actual sprints, which are the feces of the local Eurasian otters. So they live in the
Mm.
harbor, and they're very cute to watch. I think I can show you a picture of them. They're here. So these little guys.
Oh, they're so cute. Yes. Do
Yes, so
you
we
record their sounds as well?
I mean, they are the sounds that they make sometimes are within the video. So we have a wildlife camera on board one of our research vessels, and they do come on board and uh, eat, have do all kinds of things. Well, and so there's audio there as well. But
Mm.
I don't. For now, we haven't like kind of specifically separated the acoustic recordings of them, but that is a potential future idea. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because I
they're really
have
cute.
heard them and
Yeah,
they're
yeah, exactly.
so cute. Yeah. But these dolphins that you see very often there, are they a resident population? Do you have a photo ID research already?
Yeah. So there are two different like ecotypes of bottlenose
Mm.
dolphins. There's the ones that we call kind of coastal, which live like closer to the coast, and they go in and out of the different rias. They still move around the region, but according
Hmm.
to some of our abundance estimation studies, there are some that do tend to stay in the ria. So they kind of have like preferences, let's say. So there are groups of individuals that we see more frequently in the Ria de Rosa, where the BDRI is based out of. But they definitely do move around the coast. And then there's the more offshore, I don't know, say population, but ecotype that
Hmm.
stays in a kind of a different like ecological niche. They stay like a little bit more offshore, and they tend to be in larger groups, and we don't tend to see them mix very much. And so
I
they
was going to
stay
ask
like
if
more
they
offshore.
mix. Do they
No, so
mix these two groups?
we haven't seen them together. So we have seen the
Mm.
offshore in the RIA, but the catalogs are quite separate. So they
It's
tend to stay.
very interesting because in the South Estuary, where I am doing my research with bottlenose dolphin, we have very stable resident population with more or less 30 animals. And then we have as well the offshore ecotypes. But sometimes when this resident population is feeding around the beach, Troia Beach, maybe you know this area is really, really beautiful, we can see the offshore ecotype come. And they mix, but normally the ecotype need to swim very fast and go away because the resident looks like they're a bit aggressive to them.
Okay.
So it's some kind of territorialism. We don't have so much information about that, but it's something we are looking for to try understand this dynamic of these different groups. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
why I
really
was thinking,
interesting.
wow, that's interesting to understand that maybe this behavior is happening in other places as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like recorded evidence of actual like physical interaction between the two. I know that whenever we see them, there's never like individuals from the two populations within the same group. So according to our data, I don't think they mix, but there are some movements. So obviously the coastal ones do go around the coast, and they can go
Mm-hmm.
like offshore in the sense of outside of the rias, but and the offshore ones do have been seen inside the rias, but I think they tend to stay in the different environments as well.
Yeah, so much to learn. And what
Mhm.
are the other species you can see in this area?
Yeah, so Galicia is a really highly productive and very biodiverse region. So obviously the bottlenose dolphins are one of the ones we see the most, especially closer to the coast. But there are many other species. I don't know if you saw briefly, I showed there are common dolphins. There's, if we go a little bit more offshore and in specific times of the year, so more migratory, like baleen whales, we have fin whales. We have Risso's dolphins. There are
Oh,
blue whales. Um,
wow. Have you
yeah,
seen blue whales?
yes, I'm really
What
lucky.
a lucky woman.
We've seen quite a few. We actually have a catalog of those too. There's about like 20 identified individuals in the area.
Wow,
Hmm.
amazing. So tell
Yes.
me a little bit more about your research,
Hmm.
your
So yeah,
PhD
we
research. Yeah.
okay. We're moving on to my PhD. So yeah, well, I was just
No, it's
finishing
up to
about
you,
the
of course. I'm curious about everything.
no, of course. There's so many things to talk about, but we were just talking about the field research for the interns, and then obviously we have to bring everything
Okay. Yeah,
at the
let's
lab
do it.
and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that everything is organized really well. So like the data has to be really high quality. So while it is an environment where we teach people and people are learning, there's also quite a high quality of data. So we always make sure that everything is reviewed multiple levels and that everything is entered into the database because all of the data that we collect is used by the institute for the research articles and by the students for their different theses. So we have to ensure that the data is not just for practice, it's always for learning, of course, but we have to make sure that the data is the highest quality possible. And yeah, so there's lots of different projects of like going on at the institute and different activities to do at the lab, let's say, or at the office. We call the lab. So there's photo ID, there's dealing with the geographic data, so making maps, GIS, acoustics, the physical like analysis of the sprains, so of the feces of the otters, so kind of distinguishing the different hard parts of the prey that they eat and trying to identify the different species of fish that they eat. There's never a dull moment. There's always so many things to do.
Wow,
Um,
that's great.
and yeah, there's uh, the way that, like I said, the way that I contribute to protecting animals, I think, is by working in itself in this kind of international research centers that is very renowned and publishes many scientific articles, informs lots of policies. So there was also recently a creation of an important marine mammal protected area in Galicia. And obviously, just the
Mhm.
fact of bringing valuable knowledge about lots of different species that we find in the study area and even lesser known species like the Iberian harbor porpoise, or unique behaviors such as epimenetic behavior, which is when a female takes care of deceased young, for which we have a paper on rhesus dolphins, or even interspecific killing, so interaction between different species within the study area as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can find out all about the BDRI's research on the website, which is just super easy, bdri.com. And there's a special area for the published article section. And then more specifically for my own research, obviously, we're just talking about how I study bottlenose dolphin acoustics, and I study the way that they use whistles. So I was really lucky to use the BDRI's incredible data set, both from Galicia and from Sardinia, where it started out. So it's a long-term data set, and we're able to compare data from the different locations, so from different groups of dolphins, and kind of trying to understand how they use whistles in different contexts. And yeah, if
So
you've
you
never
use
heard,
the video to compare with the at the moment you are recording. So
yeah,
you record by video and record by hydrophone.
so we don't take necessarily videos, but we have all the data collection that is visual. So all the data collection that we do
Okay,
is at
visual.
the
All right.
same time as the acoustic recording. So it's active data collection rather than like passive, for example. We do also have some research projects with passive acoustic monitoring, so where the hydrophone is left in a specific area. But obviously, with that, there is some information missing. So the research that I'm doing is on recordings that have concurrent metadata, so data about the group of dolphins that was there, and other things such as the behavior, the number of calves, and kind of environmental variables as well. So I'm able to link the whistles, or the number of whistles, or the type of whistles, to a number of different variables, and try to understand kind of the context
Yeah,
in which
it's
they're
very
used.
similar with my research as well. But during my master degree, I was doing bioacoustic with Sotalia Guianensis in Brazil, and I have a master student doing the video all the time. She was doing masters in the video, and I was with the bioacoustics. So for me, it was great because I have everything. But also in that research, I used to record all the time. And now I have a protocol to record like for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I stop 5 minutes. Then I record the 3 minutes again, and so on. So I can be sure that I have a dominant behavior that I can also link with the whistle behavior,
Yeah.
let's say. Do you have a protocol like this, or
Yeah.
you record everything? How is your
Yeah, so we don't have
methodology?
like the video recordings at the same time as the audio, but we do have like a standardized methodology that was implemented both in Sardinia and in Galicia. So there's a group behavior which is collected every 5 minutes, and so everything is documented. And so whenever I have my acoustic audio segment, I go to the corresponding behavior of that part, and I know like the behavior that the animals were doing in that moment, and any notes that were
Okay.
made on the surface behavior, etc. So yeah, it's not
And
in a video
you
format, but it's in a data format.
and you record by both by a deployed hydrophone, or you have this other hydrophone that you just leave at sea, not passive, but like the ones that you leave and then after you pick it up.
Yeah, so we have a hydrophone on board, and we just place it. There's like kind of again another standardized methodology where we make sure that we turn off our engine. Otherwise, we have our own engine noise that masks the sound, and then we have to have the dolphins kind of stay in the same area for a period of time, be habituated to the boat, be also close at the same time, and not too directional. So it's a little bit tricky to collect acoustic data, as
Yes.
you may know, and that's why it's I think it's so valuable to have such a large data set, because of course I wasn't there to collect all the data for my PhD, but during the time that I worked at the BDR, I also obviously did collect data, and so I know how tricky it is or how rare it is to collect such data, and so I'm very lucky to have such data. And
And
yeah, so
how
we have
many
to
hours are you
deploy.
working with of
The data set originally is
recording?
like 300 hours or something, but or like, yeah, maybe like around 200 in total. But I cannot work with that, and so I had to randomly sample, and so my
Ah,
samples are minute-long samples, which is about 20 hours in total.
okay. All right. No, I was, oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
no,
300 hours.
it's
You will have,
impossible.
you will use your lifetime to.
Exactly. Plus, everything is, autocorrelation, different recordings. So I had to like randomly sample to make sure that all my samples are the same length.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Wow, what amazing experience as a researcher to have so much data and to be able to
Yeah.
study. I guess you will have plenty papers coming soon.
There is so much to do. Definitely. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I have a paper so far, and then hopefully the other ones are gonna get published as well.
Yeah,
But
so you have already one paper.
yeah,
And
yeah.
what is the title?
It's I'll give you the exact title right now. I mean, it's just kind of the use of whistles in dolphins, but if you want, I'll give you the
Mm.
exact title. No, you think I know it by heart after working on it for so long. It's whistle rate determinants in wild bottlenose dolphins, behavior, location, and group size.
Wow, very cool. And what are you working on now? What is the next paper to come?
So I have two more papers in the works, and the one of them is the one of the poster that I was presenting at the conference. So it's about the use of signature whistles specifically. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
an elaboration, so a second or a a deeper analysis of the first paper, but kind of looking in it
Mm-hmm.
in a different way rather than at whistles in general, at signature whistles
I will do the
and
same.
their role.
Mm.
And then there's another one which is working with passive acoustic monitoring data within the river mouth. So the RIAs themselves can be considered estuaries, let's say, but this is like very specifically at the mouth of the river. So we don't have a lot of information about whether the dolphins use that area. I mean, anecdotally, we know that they're there, but there is a hydrophone that was placed there, and we have again years of data of passive acoustic monitoring. So we're trying again to understand the potential reasons why dolphins might be found within the mouth of the river in that specific area of the Ria de Rosa.
Wow, very cool. So we will be, we all need to be attempted to get to read these interesting
I,
papers.
I hope
Are
I
you
will
are
be
you
able to.
planning are you planning to finish the PhD next year? Are you in the last year? How it is?
Yeah, I'm in the last year, so I'm trying to finish the articles while I write the thesis itself, which I have to hand in this year by October.
Oof, yes, I feel like, oh my gosh, I am just finishing my data collection now, and I need to start up to write the papers and the thesis until the
Yeah,
end of the next year. So, oof. So
you
talking
have one more
about
year.
that, what? Huh?
You have one more. How many years do you have left?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but I don't think I will be able to finish in 4 years.
Mm.
So for me, if I finish in 5 years, is all right because I have so much going on in my life since I moved to Portugal. So it's it's part of the process, and I'm not in a hurry. I want to do something good, and I want to take the time to do it. But of
Definitely.
course, I still feel I already feel the pressure in one way. But I still doing the data collection because the schedule was to finish in December, and then I get some funds, and now I started again. So it's the way it is. It's nothing under control.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
So tell me a little bit about what would you consider your most challenging experience?
Ah, well, we were just talking about it really. So, I mean, I was saying that my work involved like lots of field work and students and like working with lots of people, which can be tiring sometimes, but I love that part. The busier I am, the better. And I think the harder part for me is the mental the mental part, the psychological part, the PhD, the part with myself,
Mhm.
let's say. And so like everyone says doing a PhD is hard, and it's true. I mean, I guess you're going through that as well. In my case, yeah, I love the work itself, but I think what I struggle the most is with myself and maybe my thinking that I can't do it, or like yeah, self doubt, I guess. So it's more about that. I really love the field work, all the data analysis, data collection. I think the writing is a little bit harder for me. I struggle a little bit with that, and the publication process. It's still a bit new, and a little bit stressful sometimes, and the reviewing and the re-editing, and it can be a bit frustrating
Mhm.
sometimes. But I mean, everything is a challenge, right? And so far I've been able to manage all the challenges that I've had in life, and this is just the most recent one and maybe the hardest one. So I hope that with practice the writing will get easier, the publishing will get easier, and maybe I get like a job in the future that doesn't require so much writing. I don't know, we will see. But yeah, I guess that's the most challenging part for me.
I think you are not alone. I think writing is, you need a lot of concentration, and you feel many times with all these reviews like, oh my gosh, why did I start that? I have the same feeling. I am very passionate and I'm very happy with my PhD process, but sometimes I feel, oh my gosh, why did I decide to do that? It's so hard to concentrate, to focus, to write. And I like the brainstorms. I like to, the conversation, the discussion. I love the field work, but I also have some um, difficulties to sit and write down everything. So I think it's part of the process, and is also when we find out what we want to do in the future, as you said. But I also agree, when we set a goal, it's so important to reach. I think people are different, of course, but
Yeah.
me too. I always, when I start something, I do my best to finish in the best way. So I'm sure you will do as well. And if you think about the most exciting experience, what would you like to share with us?
Well, I guess we also kind of hinted at it. I mean, there's a lot of them. When we work with marine mammals, they're all pretty spectacular and exciting. So it's really hard to pick one moment, especially because again, I was so lucky to have like such a different variety of exciting field moments. I would still say maybe the field is the most exciting. But I
Mm-hmm.
remember maybe one of the first times that I was like super shocked was when we went offshore, and we're just like completely surrounded by common dolphins. And so common dolphins are pretty common in Galicia in the sense that sometimes there are really large groups, but like they were just everywhere. Everywhere I could look, there were common dolphins, and they were all jumping, and I just started crying. Then,
Oh, it's
I mean,
beautiful.
bottlenose dolphins, I have a special spot for them in my heart. And so, like when you see them doing the leaps out of the water in the wild, and you're not like sitting in a Sea World or something, and so having someone have them do something when you see them like really jumping because they want to, and kind of interacting with each other and getting to know them, because once you start to do photo ID, then you get to know like which are females, which are males, which ones have calves. So like kind of that
Mm-hmm.
extra connection with them, I think, is really special. And then, I mean, whales. uh, all the blue whales that I've seen are pretty awesome.
Wow, my
So
dream.
many fin whales. Sometimes, again, there were just like blows all around, fin whales, blue whales. I was also really lucky to be able to see orcas in different places. So in British Columbia, in Galicia, and in the Azores. That one time I went to the whale watching, and we saw orca.
Wow, you
And
were the lucky one. We was
yeah,
praying all
but I
day to
didn't see
get to
sperm
see
whales.
them.
I went there to see sperm whales, and I didn't. So I have to go back. So I have to go see sperm
You
whales.
didn't see the sperm whale? All
No,
right, but you never see the sperm whale?
no,
Okay, now you need to go back
yeah,
because they
I
are
need to go
also
back.
amazing. The blow shape and the direction. It's
Yeah,
amazing. I saw the sperm whale there in Açores, but I didn't see
that's good.
the orcas. So I also want to go back.
I did see humpback whales bubble net feeding in British Columbia. That's
Wow,
pretty
that
nice.
must be amazing
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, yeah. There's just like silence, and all of a sudden, there's just like 6 or 7 humpbacks just like coming out of the water with their mouths open. It's pretty
Wow,
incredible. But
strong,
like,
energetic behavior.
yeah, anything like really in the field is cool. And I think that the cool part about fieldwork is that no day is the same. So you never know what you're gonna get. Every time is gonna be unique, and any time could be amazing. And even if it's different than last time and it's similar, it's still great, because again, you're witnessing wild animals just be themselves and like learning more about them. So I think that's pretty cool in itself.
I agree. I think this is one of the best things to work with the nature. You do not control, you don't know what will happen, and you are there just to react and work accordingly with nature. It's great. And if you need to pick one species, I know this is a
Sorry.
tricky question, but what species is your favorite?
Yeah, I think, as I said before, I had too many things to pick from. It's difficult to choose, but if I had to pick, I would still say the bottlenose dolphin, Tursiops truncatus. It's always been the one, so the one that has like started this passion for me. And
Mm.
so it's both kind of linking my childhood and my reason for wanting to be a marine biologist, but also, as I said before, like over the past few years, I've had a chance to learn many different aspects of their lives in the
Mhm.
wild, both like the acoustics, obviously, which is really interesting, but also in the photo ID and like respiratory and the way they group with each other. And once you really, again, get into the photo ID on a daily basis, and you're like going the field, taking the pictures, coming back, reviewing the pictures, and be like, oh, this one was with this one today, and this group was seen in this place, and oh, this one had a new calf, and this is the fifth calf since we start. It's just like being able to follow them along kind of like creates an extra little connection. And
Mhm.
they're just obviously super intelligent and social animals, which is great, but they also live like in a coastal environment and very close to exposed to human activity, and so there makes them like really important indicators of the marine ecosystem health. And obviously
Mhm.
studying them means that we can like hopefully kind of understand the environment better and try to have protecting them will hopefully like have a bigger impact on the marine environment overall. And yeah, so I guess bottlenose dolphins.
Yes, they are amazing. We also recognize some individuals in the Sado estuário. It's great to see. Oh, now the mom with the. Of course, we don't know if it's the mom, but
Yeah,
we know because the calf is there with the mom all the time, and then this is a newborn, this is the newborn of the year. So it's
Exactly.
great to follow up a population like this. With the photo ID work in this area, can you say, for example, this signature whistle is from this individual, or is still a
That would be
photo?
nice. That would be really nice. It's tricky because so bottlenose dolphins, the way they produce sounds. I mean, you know this, but I'm just saying for other people that might not.
Of
Uh,
course.
the way they produce sounds is actually through nasal passages. So it's not like us that like they have their own specific like morphology of their vocal folds. So if one dolphin were to make a sound, we would not be able to recognize that dolphin just based on its individual like vocal apparatus. Let's say they don't have what is called voice cues, so all dolphins sound the same. And because we don't do any invasive data collection, so we don't collect the animals and put like the
Tag.
suction cup hydrophones or anything like that. What we record is a group of animals,
Mhm.
and all the sounds we associate them to that group. So we cannot say one sound is made by a specific dolphin. They do have what are called signature whistles, so the specific frequency modulated sound that is kind of reflective of themselves, of their own identity. But because the groups are so big, it's difficult to kind of,
Mm.
by process of elimination, kind of say, oh, this whistle was present in this group when this individual was there and this individual was there, because the groups in
Okay.
Galicia are so big. So imagine we have groups of like 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 dolphins. And so
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but so far it hasn't been done, and it would be really difficult to do to trace specific whistles to a specific dolphin
Yeah.
the way the data is collected right now. But yeah, we have signature whistles, and then we have the dolphins. At one point, if there could be some sort of connection, that's great. But even
Mhm.
just knowing like the signature whistle could be potentially important in the future to recognize like different individuals and to help with maybe
Yes, sure.
abundance
No, I
estimates in
asked
a different way.
because in my lab, somebody in the past did this kind of link between the individual and the signature whistle, but the groups are much smaller, and
Yeah.
they know this population for since 1980s. They have been recording the sound, so it's
Mhm.
they can
Yeah.
let's say probably is that individual, but in with wild animals we can never say this is emitted by that individual if you
Yeah.
don't have the hydrophone on the animal, something like that. And I also
Yeah.
like to work with more subjective um, issues than to do invasive research. I don't think
Yeah, I mean,
the
it's just different projects, and this is just the ethics of the
yes.
BDRI. And I know that there are studies that work with small groups and with triangulated hydrophones, so with hydrophones
Mhm.
with different hydrophones in specific placements, and then based on when the sound gets to the different hydrophones, they are able to trace back which individual within the area is the one producing the sound. So I think there are ways. It's just so far with the way that the
Yes,
data was collected in this study area, it's just not possible, or at least very difficult.
not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, sounds so great. I want to know everything about your research, but let's focus on the interview. So tell me a little bit about what really motivates you in this work. You said was a childish dream, but of course there are so many challenges in your way, in everyone's way when we pursue our dreams. So what motivates you to keep going? I know it's not an easy career.
Yeah, exactly. I think if our listeners are also marine mammal scientists, then everybody has their own different path and their own different challenges. And for me right now is a little bit more difficult because I am, I guess, working less in the field than before. So my main motivation really comes from the moments in the field. So I do love like working on the computer. I'm kind of very specific and like very organized, and I love doing all of the specific work, which comes with scientific data collection and organizing and everything. But yeah, I think when I'm on the water, wind in my hair, cetaceans around, I think it's just that's the moment when it kind of like all feels worth it. And all the challenges kind of just like poof, they go away. And yeah, part of it is just like how beautiful and fascinating these animals are. But I think it goes a little bit deeper for me because, yes, it's a great, enjoyable moment to be out in the field and we all love it. But it also kind of makes me connect with the part of me that decided to make a choice a long time ago to do, I mean, it might seem a bit cliche to like do something good for the planet. So what I really wanted to is just like aportar algo, to like bring something good to the world. And obviously I can only contribute one small little bit, and I don't think we can all individually change the world, but if everybody does their own little part, then hopefully the world will be a better place. And if everybody adds their little grain of sand, and it can make a bigger difference. And my little grain of sand is doing this, is studying cetacean, helping to protect them, understanding the ocean a little bit better, hopefully inspiring others to do so as well, showing them what this path looks like, or even, as we were saying before, like finding out what you don't want to do. So by sharing one aspect of what marine mammal research is, someone might find out like, hey, this is not for me, and then like find their own path. So yeah,
Exactly.
doing what I love and
Wow.
sharing it with others, I think is really beautiful.
Beautiful. It's already so inspiring. And thank you for sharing this with us, because I think it's very important. Everybody knows it's a hard patch in one way, and we need to make a lot of difficult decisions when we want to be a marine mammal research, but it's worth. And it's important to show successful women in the field to inspire the new generation. So thank you so much to say that. And I feel in my heart these words. So, when you are at sea or when you are at home, do you have any music that brings you this feeling of be at sea, the connection with the sea?
So this is a good question also because in addition, I mean, to obviously loving marine mammals, I really love music. So I have a special connection to music itself. I haven't really mixed the two as much because whenever we're in the field, everything is very like focused on work. But I feel like there are moments when I'm not at sea that it does make me connect with the sea a little bit. I'm also a Disney child in my heart. So, I mean, I guess sometimes when you like think of like the obvious songs, I think about like The Little Mermaid, like Under the Sea, and all the great like
Let me put here a little
imagery.
bit, 5 seconds of the music. Is this
Go,
one?
go.
Always greener. Somebody else is leaving.
Yeah, of course.
It's so cute.
It's a bit of an obvious one, but I mean, when I was a kid and I was like watching The Little Mermaid, and then I would just like think of the dolphins and everything. But yeah, now that I'm a bit like older, let's say, and I do
A
love
grown-up woman.
a little bit. I still love The Little Mermaid, but there are like
Me too.
other songs that do like have a little bit of a deeper meaning. I mean, there are, I don't know. There's House by the Sea by Maudie. There's Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish. And like,
This one, Ocean Eyes. Let me put. I also like this music
I don't
very
even know if
much.
it's not about the ocean, but it kind of like reminds you.
I think it's more romantic, but I also say I have a playlist, ocean playlist, and I have this music. The rhythm, it's so beautiful and reminds the ocean.
And then, I mean, there's another obvious choice, but I feel like sometimes if you think like really like the Titanic song, it gets like really deep. And yeah, I mean, these like the melodies in general, like I feel like there's like lyric people and melody people. I feel like I'm a melody person, so even if the lyrics have nothing to do with the ocean, sometimes there's different like harmonies and melodies that like remind me of the depth of the ocean and the vastness and the mystery of the ocean and like the feelings that it inspires.
Beautiful.
What about you?
I have plenty music. So I have plenty. I have like this playlist, and it's very much also accordingly with my moment. So I have moments that I like musics that are kind of happy, talking about the sea, and some musics is just a melody. So plenty musics. One of my goals to do this question is to make a playlist of the podcast, because I like to hear how people connect with music and ocean. So I guess in the future we'll come up with this playlist to share with everybody. But I really need to be more selective, because my ocean playlist is like, I don't know, 200 musics already. And I also include the interviews
Nice.
favorite musics. Oh yes, I listen music all the time. That's also something maybe that's why I choose to be bioacoustician, because I am really into music. I don't play anything, but all my friends are musicians. So it's something in my everyday life all the time. Yeah.
Nice.
And so before we finish this inspiring chat, maybe you could show the sounds of the bottlenose.
Yeah, of course. We got so many questions. We got so exciting. We skipped over the little video I had about the sounds.
Yes, and then now we are talking about sound, so I think it's a great moment.
Yes. So here it is. Let me know. Do you see the screen? I
Yes.
can play. Yeah, so this is a video which shows an excerpt of an acoustic recording of the bottlenose dolphins in the Ria de Arousa. This is a couple years ago, well, last year. And this is what we call a spectrogram. So this is like the way that we visualize the sounds, because I mean, again, you know this, but our ears are not that great at discerning sounds, so we also need like a visual representation of the sounds. And so we have time on the horizontal axis here, on the x-axis, and we have frequency, so kilohertz on this side. And so when you see the little lines, those are the whistles. At the beginning, it's a bit quiet, and then they start getting louder. These are all clicks right now. And then they go crazy.
Oh my gosh. This is a challenging now result.
Yes.
We are so happy when we see a lot of them, but when we record a lot of them together, it's like, oh, okay, I need to be patient and just take time.
Yeah, this is a very challenging spectrogram, but it's cool.
I think it's very cool. I love them. And I have in my a sheet where I register all the information. I also have observation column.
For 600 years, this machine has been heating and shaping traditional fez hats in Cairo.
And then I also write beautiful, fantastic. I have the observations, my own observation, not very scientific, let's say, so I can also later on go back to that beautiful whistle and then do some screenshots and record for future presentations. So beautiful. So before also I would like you tell me, it's a very deep question. What the sea represents for you.
Wow. Yeah, that is a big question. So, I mean, I guess the Earth is called the blue planet for a reason. So it's mostly water, it's mostly ocean, and yet the ocean is still a little still relatively mysterious. There's still a lot of things that we need to find out about the ocean, but it's so crucial for life on the planet, right? So sometimes it makes me a bit sad to think about how we treat the ocean, especially after learning more about the different issues that it faces through my master's, my PhD, and just the news, like overfishing, bycatch, habitat destruction, pollution, acidification. All of these things can bring so much sadness and a bit of fear for the future. But then also how the vastness of it and its ability to regenerate, and just its vastness just brings itself a sense of peace and hope. And so yeah, for me the ocean is a source of inspiration and connection, and knowing that my life and my work are tied to it feels really special. And I'm really grateful to be part of the effort to aim to protect and understand it better in some way, even if it's a small way. And yeah, hopefully bring forward knowledge for the benefit of future generations too, and the life in the ocean in general.
Wow, so good to hear. I'm very grateful that you shared that for us, and it's very meaningful. Thank you. Would you
so
like
much.
to leave a message, tips, advice for our community before we finish this beautiful chat?
Well, first of all, I wanted to again thank you so much for inviting me to this great podcast. It's been a lovely experience, and thank you for allowing me to share a little bit about myself, my work, the VDRI. And I mean, we kind of hinted at this a little bit before. It's if I have a message for anyone out there also figuring out their path in the marine science world, is that our love and our passion kind of move us along, and but sometimes it's not easy, right? So we say there's the internships, the struggles, the everything, and sometimes it's not a linear or easier path as some other maybe more straightforward career choices. But if I had any advice that I guess I came up with, or that helped me throughout these years, would be to just have that motivation moment in your head. If you need to go in the field and look at some dolphins, if you can, do that, or do whatever you need to do. Listen to some ocean-inspiring music, or just follow your passion, see where it takes you, and hopefully with a little bit of hard work, passion, and a bit of luck, you'll get where you want to go.
Perfect. Thank you. So thank you once more for being here, for sharing your amazing experience. I'm sure people will be very inspired, and I will leave your contacts in the episode description, so people maybe can reach you out with any questions or interest to join the project. And Thank you. It was amazing
Yeah.
time with
Thank
you.
you so much. It was really fun.
Okay, so you there stay on board because every second month this year we will have a new videocast episode online. Bye bye.
Bye.